Hey, and thank you for clicking play. Just turning the screen around so I can make sure I'm in shot and that things are in focus because I've literally just got back from my UK trip, as in literally a couple of hours ago. Not to say I haven't fitted in a few things. Coffee at the cafe my wife works at. Couple of stouts at the local pub. Been to the news agency if they had my magazines in. And yeah, got back home. And I just thought I'd do this while it's fresh. Well, while I'm still kind of fresh. Kind of. The Guinness is still settling. I'm still on holiday because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No work on Monday. Still holiday. So, English pickups or pickups from England. Let's just jump into it. Get it out of the way. But first of all, had a really good time. Most of my time was spent in Kent. Went down to the south coast, always tradition. This trip was just about catching up with family and especially spending time with my mum. And crazy golf. Went and did some crazy golf in Hastings because that's tradition. Also, had a quick look at what the arcades were like in Hastings these days. Had a quick pan through there. And up to Hastings Castle. In all these years, I never even knew they had a castle. It's more of a ruins, but sure, go and have a look. There was actually a really nice view up there. Probably didn't come out very well in the camera. But anyway, yeah, had a really good time. Also went as far as up as Doncaster, Chester Zoo. But more of that as we get through the pickups, but really not much pickups. I'm hoping what I'll show you today is more about quality, at least to me, in my personal recollecting journey, than quantity, because there isn't much quantity, because there was one really big item I really had to bring back with me this trip. So pretty much I'm going to go through in chronological order of when I pick things up. So first and foremost, these are two games I picked up off a guy called Steve on one of the Facebook groups. Games I've been after because I had them growing up, or at least had contact with them. And he's a really good seller, and he's actually in Tunbridge Wells, my hometown. So he had hand delivered these to my mum's house months ago. And the first one may surprise you. It's Flash Gordon for the Spectrum there. And I remember this game very well, and obviously I'll do a separate video. You know me, there will be a separate video on this. But yeah, just a really interesting game. The movie is so surreal. You watch it back in the modern day, they wouldn't make that movie now. And I do mean Flash Gordon, not the alternative, because I'm well aware of that as well. Although, to be honest, there's not much difference. They pretty much cross the line. But this is just a really good game, and it's one of those games, as often was the case on Spectrum games, it's almost like there's several gaming genres built into the one storyline-led game. Fairly faithful to the movie as far as you can in the 8-bit port. I have very fond memories of this. So more about that when we actually do a playthrough. It won't be a playthrough because I never finished it. And the next one has its own story as well. And that's ATF. Now, somebody who's watching this will be going, wait a minute, bear with me. Bear with me, mate. You know if you know. So this one I bought from Steve. Yeah. This has a separate story all of its own. And again, there will be a separate video. But ATF for the Spectrum. Next is an eBay purchase I made, and massive thanks to my mate Lee, who let me use his UK address. Thanks, mate. Old school, mate. And this was on eBay, and nobody else bid on it. So I think I picked this up for £16. And it's Barbarian 2. Big box. Is it me or are the big boxes smaller than... Remember, why did we call them big boxes? They're not that big. But it's Barbarian 2. And for those of you wondering, in there, oh, that's in the wrong box. I'll show that later. In there, yes, it is. When I do a video on it. Now, I never had Barbarian 2, but just to give you a sneak peek, yes, Maria is fully intact. As is Wolf from Gladiators, but Maria is fully intact. This has the full poster. Nobody bid on this. 16 quid this cost me. Does the disc work? Don't know. There's two discs. Barbarian 2 is not a game I had growing up, but when I saw this on eBay and nobody had bid on it, I had to have it because it's Barbarian, it's Maria Whittaker, and that I'm very happy to have on my shelf, and I'm very happy to explore that as a game I never owned. Just because of the connection to one of my favourite games. Now, a guy called Rich on one of the Discord groups I'm in, the RMC Cave Discord group, I've mentioned him before. He's the guy who sent me a copy of Psychastria, just because it had the right artwork that I remembered as a kid, and he knows I'm into this for nostalgia and no other reason. And he also, in that package, completely unexpectedly, he'd remembered that I had mentioned having a Banshee growing up, and he sent me a Voodoo 3, like, as a gift, completely unexpectedly. I thought I'd got the better of him, and I got, okay, right, I spotted something that I knew he wanted as a kid, and I sent it to him as a gift. You know, I'm not going to mention what that was. And at the exact same time, myself and Rich seemed to have this parallel universe going on. He did paper rounds, I did paper rounds. A lot of our childhood memories are so similar. At the exact same time, I'm buying him a gift on eBay. He's buying me another gift on eBay. Rich, I know you through Discord. Other than that, you'll agree, we don't know each other, and it's just this bizarre relationship going on. And Rich very kindly bought on eBay for me and gifted me Barbarian 1. Because he knows my copies of Barbarian for the 10-star games pack have been a bit hit and miss. And he's given me Barbarian 1. What's inside it? First and foremost, we have the original Barbarian disc. Focus, you piece of crap. There we go. That's what that would have been like. Also in here, and Rich, fill me in. I think it hasn't got a cover, but this is what the copy that I'm after for the 10-star games pack should look like. Is this now a working disc? This will get a separate video as to whether these copies work. But there's another copy of Barbarian, which is the 10-star games pack labelled correct label, not the yellowed one, the white one, and the correct way up one. Doesn't have a sheath, but I can replace that. Is this now a working copy for my 10-star games pack collection? Very excited to see if that is the case. Rich, you're a madman. And for those that are wondering, yes, we have. I need to buy another frame. I'm going to get in trouble. There she is. There they are. There they are. There she is. Maria Whittaker and Wolf from Gladiators. Maria Whittaker. Barbarian poster. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rich. I am over the moon that somebody else has eBay searches, not for somebody else, not for something they're after, but for something I'm after. That really blows me away. Seriously. And that, for me, that's what the community is about. That's fantastic. Let's put that there just because in terms of box sizes, that sits better. Oh, let's make sure that's going in properly. Gently does it. Don't want to push too hard. Right. Done. The next two, again, are gifts that blow me away. Let's just get into them and then I'll talk about them. First thing, it's another copy of ATF, but this one is very special because I don't know if you can see, this has cellophane on it. And no, that's not resealed. There is a bit of a thing going on in the UK at the moment of an old 90s store that put all its stuff in storage, and it's slowly coming out, and there's a guy helping the owner sort stuff out. This is from that collection. This is a new old stock. This is shop stock, never been sold, and it's another copy of ATF. And it is very important actually to me to have a brand new copy for when I cover my personal story of ATF. And along with that, so I'm stoked by this because this was gifted. This hasn't cost me anything. And I offered them money, believe you me. There's a copy of Echelon. Now, also for the ZX Spectrum, I had Echelon on the Amiga back in the day. It's a game I purchased purely on the artwork, but For me, you know what it's like. That it's the artwork that is the nostalgia. That right there is the nostalgia. I can put the Amiga disc in there, and it doesn't bother me. But this is the ZX Spectrum version, and this is complete because this is also from that same collection. Not sealed, but this is complete, and you can tell everything is brand new, minty fresh, never been opened, never been used. Everything is in there. New old stock. And I'm not into new old stock for the sake of new old stock. But so this is Cy from Ginger Hippie Gaming. And I offered him money and I said, how much do you want? Blah, blah, blah. And as he's going through this collection, he just kept sending me stuff. And basically, he wanted to gift me these in thanks for me supporting his channel in his early days. He's got more subscribers than me now. So Cy, seriously, really appreciate it, mate. Really appreciate it. And I just appreciate the way you approach the community. There are people that are in it to flip things to get market value or to make a profit, whereas yourself, along with many other people I've met, are just so genuine and so giving. And what you're into it for is seeing people receive the things that they have that attachment to, or to complete their collection or whatever. And I just love what you're doing, mate. I really do. So thank you so much, Cy. Ginger Hippie Gaming, link in the description. Right. I was very, not excited, but obviously we don't have CEX as in Australia in the same way as you have. Nowhere near as many stores as the same way as you guys in the UK have CEX, which is where you can buy retro games. So in the Tunbridge Wells store, it's the only one I managed to get to because I was short on time this trip. It was only a 2-week UK trip, all about family. But I popped in one morning to the Tunbridge Wells store, had a look around. A few things tempted me, but I thought, yeah, I'm buying it for the sake of buying something from CEX, which is essentially what I've done anyway. What did I buy for the sake of buying something from CEX? I think it was quite good. It is. For the PlayStation, it's Doom. And when I saw it, this was, what was it? I think it was £15. Yeah, £15. Says there on the tin. £15 for Doom. And that has the manual. Has the manual. And has the inlay card. And it has the disc. And the disc is in good condition on the underside as well. Now, the keen-eyed collectors among you will spot that this is the Platinum version. And my memories of Doom are really, my nephew had the PlayStation 1 and I played Doom on his PlayStation and it actually blew me away. Now, I played it on the PC and I played it on the Jaguar, and I think the PlayStation 1 port is one of the best ports you'll ever find. The moody music, the translucency on the, what I call the Predators, but they're not. They're the, what do you call them? The pigs. I call them the pigs because they make that grumble. But some of them are semi-invisible. The transparency effect on this is so much better than the PC. It's just, it's the same game, but it's a different game. Once I sat down for a coffee in the shopping centre and had a look through this, I then went on my phone and I thought, yeah, it's not the same box that my nephew had. He had the double pack where you got PlayStation 1 and 2. It doesn't matter. All I want is to relive the experience of playing what I think is one of the best ports ever of the classic Doom, and that's what I've got here. Still don't have a PlayStation, mind you, but that will be coming. So very, very happy to pick that up. Did I overpay at £15, £30? Maybe. I mean, if I'd have seen that come up locally, would I have bought it? Yeah, I'm not sure. But for the sake of having the experience of buying something from CEX, I don't think that's a bad pickup at all. So I'm actually quite happy with that. Doom. Okay, where's that? I don't know where you guys are seeing. I need a drink. We're nearly done. Get rid of the CEX bag. W.H. Smith's. We're slightly out of order because before I bought that, on one of my first days, I popped into W.H. Smith's, of course, and picked up the latest version of Amiga Addict. There you go. And Pixel Addict. So pick them up. Pick these magazines up. It is so good to have these magazines so professionally produced in the modern day. It's amazing. I will have a double feature article coming up. Andrew, let me know when it's coming out so I can let people know. But that will be coming up in Amiga Addict. But yeah, really happy to have these. As you guys know, I've got a standing order over here, but the experience of walking into WH Smith's and picking up an Amiga magazine in 2023, it's not only surreal, it's fantastic. And in fact, it's no longer surreal, it's kind of normal because you know it's going to be there. So that was WH Smith's Tunbridge Wells. Really happy to pick those up. Even though I'll pick up another copy over here, it doesn't matter. Okay, next one's a quickie. This is an odd one. Asus tablet, no, not tablet, laptop that I bought my dad. Bless him, a few years ago. He no longer requires it, shall we say. So that's come back here with me. And my plan for this is just to resurrect it, reformat it after I've backed up his stuff. And probably use that for doing my scripting for This Week in Retro while I'm in the pub. that's my plan for that. Sit there with a pint and do some scripting for that. It's a touchscreen laptop when Windows 8 first came out because you had to have touchscreen. Right, last but not least. Oh, it's not. No, we'll do that first. Oh, the Rich stuff. There we go. Rich, Elmo, sent me a nice note. That goes with that. Barbarian. Elmo sitting there on Big Track. Right, now, last but not least, this will definitely get a video in its own right. It made it back with me safely. Last time I tried to turn it on, it didn't work. We'll have to see if I can resurrect it. But, and this isn't going to go on the desk, it's my Slot 1 build. So this is the PC, the last PC I built, in England when I lived there. So over 20 years ago. And this is my last UK PC. This is my last UK PC. And the reason why this has survived is because I left it with my parents so that they could talk to me through MSN audio or video chat back when that was the way to do things, even before Skype. I think the hard drive may have been rebuilt. I think this may now have XP on it. Whereas I have actually had this dual booting Windows 2000 and Windows 98. So that's what I'll restore it to if that is no longer the case. And I'm pretty sure on CD somewhere I've got a backup of the files that used to be on this before I lent it to them, my parents. That's my last build. This is not a rebuy, this is actually my PC. Slot 2, I think it's a Pentium 3 era Celeron, which essentially is the same as a Pentium 2. I think that's what it is. It's got a TNT 2 graphics card in it, I think. From the last time I checked. It's going to be exciting revisiting this and comparing it to the Aptiva I now have over here. It's fantastic to have this back. Alright. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. The wife's just got home. I've not seen her for 2 weeks. I'll see ya.